Regular meeting on November 7th. Call order, pledge of allegiance, please.
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Corey Beth, roll call, please.
Commissioner DePico?
Here.
Commissioner Adamini?
Here.
Commissioner Lalonde? Here. Commissioner Alholm? Here. Commissioner Nordy?
Here.
And Chairperson Georgia.
Here. Approval of the following minutes. Special meeting held on October 16th, 2023.
Vote to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Alholm, support by Commissioner Malone. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. Regular minutes held on October 17th, 2023. Your pleasure.
I move approval as presented.
Support. Approval by Commissioner Nordine, support by Commissioner Adamini. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Approved. There's no proclamations, presentations, or awards. Approval of tonight's agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alholm, support by Commissioner Nordine. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of tonight's agenda. Public comment. Public comment. Is there any public comment tonight?
Hi, I'm Dan Emmendorfer. I'm at 900 North Lakeshore Boulevard. I'd just like to comment or reserve time to speak on agenda item 11A, please, on the 457 plan. Thank you.
Yes, we'll allow you time to speak under that line item. Is there anything else?
No.
Okay.
Talk then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone online?
Public comment? Any further public comment? Electronic? Your name and address, please?
Hi, my name's Jane Fitkin. I live at 225 North 4th Street in Marquette. I am just here because I'm the Deputy Township Supervisor for Powell Township, and we had sent a letter to the board asking for support on the Board of Geographic's name change, or Board of Geographic Names name change for Burns Landing Beach in Powell Township. So I'm just here for that. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to direct them to me at any point.
What happened to that? 'Cause I don't think it got on the agenda.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the agenda, but I was asked to come.
Yeah.
Can you send it to the administrator?
Let me see.
Thought we
I
had.
have it. I mean, somehow I
Yeah,
have it. I saw
it
this
was-
whole thing, so.
Yeah, it was sent from Darlene's email last week.
Correct.
So-
We'll certainly address it.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you for reminding us, because I didn't think about it. It wasn't on the agenda.
Yeah, sorry, I should have checked over the agenda before coming, but it totally slipped my mind, so my apologies.
You needed a trip to the big city, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Powell Township. Public comment. Any further public comment? Electronic comments, all set? Okay. Hearing none, we'll close the public comment. Review claims and accounts. Total expenditures paid via check and ETF transfers for the period of October 12, 2023 through November 2nd, 2023. $1,491,430.01. Your pleasure.
you want to do them all separate, or you want to do them all together?
Well, we can do them all together. We can, this one. Bi-weekly payroll for the period of ending October 14th, 2023, $820,463.73. Bi-weekly payroll for the week ending October 28th, 2023, $757,589.31. Now your pleasure.
Pay the bills as presented.
Commissioner DePietro made a motion to pay the bills. Support?
Support.
Support by Commissioner Adamini. Questions or comments on the bills? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Public hearings. We are going to open the public hearing for a CDBG grant block funding for housing improvement.
Chairperson, regarding that public hearing notice, the time of the hearing is at 3 PM on November 7th, not 6 PM. I understand that was addressed by planning staff, is that correct, Chair? That time thing?
Well, we did find out about it, and we came here at 3 to see if anyone was here for the hearing, and we also had Adam go on Zoom to see if anybody was dialing in remotely to solicit comments, and no one, anyone.
So,
Well, I would say they were there for a public hearing at 3, even they were there to have it.
And nobody came. Right, but the commissioners were not here at 3
True,
for the hearing.
but it was true, and I think it would be a problem if somebody said something, it's still here.
so I guess my question I would ask is, do we have a procedural flaw in,
Potentially. Let me do some research tomorrow. I wasn't aware that there was this discrepancy, so I'm not prepared to give you an opinion tonight.
so let me address this. So is it possible to reschedule this at the following board meeting? No.
My suggestion would be to do it now, and I will
Research.
get back to you tomorrow and let you know if that is sufficient or if we've got a bigger issue. Well, the problem with the public notice requirements is usually you have to do it so far in advance, and if you reschedule something, you have to provide notice, usually in whatever format you originally had to provide notice. So that is my concern, is that technically we're not in compliance, but I would like to do some research before I tell you definitively that that's not true.
And as I understand it, the staff was there at 3 o'clock to see if anyone showed up to make comment or was online to make comment. And if they were, they could have then told them to come back at 6. So I mean, I think everybody had an opportunity as far as the process goes, but there you go.
Yeah, no,
I'm trying to frame that one.
Yeah, no, I understand the issue. Thank you.
All right.
So with civil counsel's recommendation, we should proceed.
Yes.
Okay. So the public hearing today, we're going to conduct a public hearing, and we will correct the time, November 7th, 2023 at 6:05 PM in room 231 of Henry Hughes Annex. For the purpose of affordable citizens, the opportunity to examine and submit comments for the proposed CDBG grant application. Marquette County proposes to use $500,000 of CDBG funds to assist residents for those incomes under 80% of the area median. A total of $210,000 will be available for homeowners, rehabilitation to preserve affordable housing units, and $200,000 used for demolition, reconstruction, resale to remove blight and infill single-family homes for resale to income-eligible homebuyers. Further information, including a copy of Marquette County's Community Development Plan and CDBG, tongue twister. Application is now available for review. To inspect the documents, see Emily Leach, or review the county documents at the RMD office located here at 234 West Barriga Avenue. Comments may be submitted in writing through the November 7th, 2023, up to 2 p.m. People made it to public hearing.
Did you get any comments?
Did we have any comments?
Written comments?
Tara, if you'd like, please.
Hello. No, we did not receive any comments. And like I said, nobody was here at 3 o'clock today. And I guess if there's any, to add some more detail about what we are applying for, MISHDA has almost $20 million that they're trying to get out geographically across the state with guaranteed funds to the Upper Peninsula. So we have the opportunity to apply for up to $500,000. 90,000 of that would go to program administration, and then we would have two programs, one for housing rehabilitation, which is similar to the program that we currently run, and the other would be for the construction of a single-family home with a lot of different details and requirements that go with that. It is true we had an issue with the public hearing notice. Unfortunately, it was still on our website that the meeting was at 6 o'clock. Hopefully that's been changed by now. But I do think we should continue to submit this application. And if it does get flagged with MISHDA through their review process, we will have a second opportunity to apply because there will be a second round in the future.
Commissioner?
So the only other thing is that I wish we would have put the $90,000 in here too, and you said it, because I was about to ask you, I didn't add up to 500,000. So, you know, we say in here, and this is really a public notice, so the public knows what we're doing, and we say we're spending 210,000 on one type of item, and 200 on another item, and then we don't say that we're spending 90,000 on the admin, so we probably should have put that in there. I don't know what to do about that, but I mean, just in the future, I guess.
Any questions for me?
Any commissioners have any further questions?
Are we still, I mean, is there anybody,
So-
we still have public hearing, right?
Yep, we're still in the public hearing. Public comment? Any further public comment? Does anybody have any public comment in regards to this hearing? One more time, any public comment?
Come on, young students, come on and say something.
No further public comment. I will close the hearing and we'll move on. Privilege comment. No privilege comment. Don't see here.
I have a question if I could. So we had to do the public hearing. Do we have to have a vote on it now that we
No,
adopted it? Or
that
just
will
we had
come-
to have the public hearing?
Bill, that'll come up further down on our agenda.
Is it on?
Yep.
It's Y and Z, sorry.
It's under 11D, I think. 11D.
Oh,
11D.
children.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So we'll address, we'll come back.
Gotcha.
Moving right along, informational items. Notices from Eagle, State of Michigan in regards to metallic minerals, which is very good to see. They're up in my district in Republic, Humboldt, and Michigami. They're looking at expanding and doing some mineral-based actions.
You know, they also said Wells Township. I didn't know Wells
Wells.
Township had metallic minerals.
Right?
I was surprised to see that.
Motion to accept the informational items, please.
To accept the informational items.
Commissioner Lalone, support?
Support. Although, did we want Jackie, the treasurer, to speak on the investment report or not? Since she's here, I think.
Yes, she is.
So I don't know if you wanted to do it.
Yeah, she was under information, I thought she was on an action item. But we'll, come on up, Jackie. We'll hold that motion.
Thank you for having me again tonight. I did want to address, because Commissioner Nordine had asked last time about the variation in interest rates with the two incredible bank accounts. And we have some with the health department and with our KI Sawyer's intermediate relending program. The difference there is our health department is a checking that's active. That's how they do their day-to-day spending. So it is not eligible for the same rate as the IRP, the airport passenger facility charge account. That's more of a money market account, but they are both checkings. It's just their checking money market.
Gotcha.
So they're
Checking
variable
versus
rates.
savings,
Right,
more or less.
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah, other than that, I will address any other questions anyone has.
Any commissioners?
Don't seem to have lots of money, so that's good, right?
Hearing
Thank-
none, thank you.
thank you.
Motion on the floor and support. All in favor of accepting informational items? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Action item. 11A, deferred compensation 457 plan. I guess I'd like to start with our CFO, Ann, for a update and explain to us why this is here today.
Thank you, Commissioner Chairperson DeRosa. And I should mention that this was really a team effort. Scott and Molly can jump in and chime in and correct me if I say anything incorrectly, but the board may recall that back in May, you approved our working with MBC Consulting to do a search for 457 plan providers. They are on Zoom. If you have questions for them, just wanted to let you know that. As a reminder, yeah, Adam nodded yes that they're there. As a reminder, our 457 or deferred compensation plans are voluntary plans that our employees can choose to contribute funds through payroll deduction into. So they're totally separate from MERS, totally voluntary. There are no county matching dollars or anything put into these accounts. Traditionally, we have for many years offered 3 different plan providers for employees to choose from to do that. The reason that we went through this search, and we talked a bit about this in May, but I'll reiterate that now, because even though the county's not contributing funds into these accounts, as the employer, we still have a fiduciary obligation to our employees that we're offering them good plans, right? That we're keeping an eye on the rates and the fees that are being charged through these plans, that they have good fund offerings to choose from to invest their funds with. And one of the things that's happening is employers who aren't monitoring this and aren't watching these plans that they're offering to their employees are being sued if those rates and fees are determined to be exorbitant. And so we really do have a fiduciary obligation to keep an eye on this, which is why we entered into this arrangement with NBC Consulting to basically do a search and see what plans are out there and what would give our employees the best bang for their buck. So their analysis is attached, and I'll try to explain it because I know it's a little bit confusing to look at. But essentially, they're recommending that instead of offering 3 plans, that we consolidate into one with Mission Square. I'm sure most of you can understand that when you consolidate your assets into one pot, you can usually negotiate a better fee situation, and so that is part of the reason why they're suggesting that. If you look at the kind of the results of their search, the bottom line under the fee summary page, which at the bottom of the page is 16 in your packet, it has an estimated total plan cost. That first column, that $179,346, that's actually the cost to our employees of all 3 plans that we currently offer today. It says Mission Square up at the top, but it's actually all 3 plans. And then you can see where the other responses came in at in terms of total fees. So the first thing we really were looking at was where are the fee savings for our employees. The lowest response was actually a company called Voya. They were slightly lower than Mission Square. One of the reasons that the consultant and staff agreed did not want to go with the low bid just automatically is that Mission Square sends an individual up here to meet with our employees in person twice a year. I think the way they described it to us is we will never see anybody from Voya come across the bridge to meet with our employees. So there was that concern about customer service and lack of personal attention. Also, it's worth noting that the vast majority of our employees and retirees currently are invested with Mission Square. So it didn't make a lot of sense for a slight cost savings to move everybody into a different plan when the majority are already with Mission Square. So that's kind of an overview of the fee, where the fees came in the search. And then further on in the attached information, it does show what they're recommending for changes to the fund lineup. So they really do a scoring of the funds and recommend these are the funds that we think should be offered to employees. So bottom line is this recommendation staff feels is going to save our employees money and give them a better fund lineup to choose from.
So I got a question.
Go ahead.
So I'm not sure, see, I don't participate, so I don't know much about this, but you're saying we have 457 plans right now?
Mhm.
And were they part of the bidding too? Were they able to bid or not? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, which ones are they?
So at the very top of the memo, the three that we have are Mission Square, Orion Portfolio Solutions, and Nationwide. And Nationwide was one of the responses.
And so on the fee summary, I don't see Orion on the fee summary, but. Okay.
They did not respond.
I didn't get an invitation.
Okay, yeah, so that's, and then I guess I'm concerned, I don't understand a lot of this, but I am concerned that it says that there's a $25,000, is that an annual fee? $25,000 from, that they'd be charging us then? On the bottom of your recommendation, it says, the county's name will continue to provide quarterly monitoring and review at a cost of $25,000. Is that $25,000 a year?
It is.
Okay.
And staff's recommendation is that be part of the cost that the participants in the 457 plan pay.
But I mean, our employees pay. You're making our employees pay.
Yep.
So I still,
And it's still a considerable cost savings to what they're paying now.
They pay more now?
Yes.
Okay, I can't pick that out of there. So, and I gotta tell you, before I move on, before I lose track of this, is that, you said you didn't think Voya would come across the bridge? We use Voya at our law firm, and we call them all the time. There's a local Voya person here in Marquette, on this side of the bridge, on this side.
We can ask the consultant that, because I've just, yeah.
Well, I just thought it was funny that you had Voya, because that's who we use at our law firm, so.
But the cost savings, if you look, we're comparing 179,346 to Mission Square's response, which is 103,633.
That 179,346 is the cost we're paying right now, is that what you're saying?
Correct.
The plan's paying us, we don't pay anything, we're just
Correct.
administering.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at MERS, wrong one, 104,741.
Oh, that's what we pay right now.
Nope, 179,346 is what we pay right now on the far left, and the recommendation is Mission Square, which is 104,741.
That 179,346 is something all three plans charge through different, and what you did is you added up all the different fees that happen to be in there in the plans, is that what that is?
Correct. The consultant did. I
Consultant
didn't.
Okay.
So I would like to also hear from our consultant. Are they able to come on?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yeah, yes, we can. So Bill, would you?
No, well, I'm sure you've been listening to this, right? To this dialogue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my own question is Voya. Why do you think there's not a Voya person in Marquette?
Well, we didn't say there wasn't a Voya person. Their management team led us to believe, and they put it in writing, that their specific 457 government representative would be in southern Wisconsin or southern Michigan. And they would be able to maybe come up once a year. Not the same service we would get from Mission Square or the other vendors. So we thought that was an advantage.
Where's Mission Square out of? I don't know any of these people, so where's Mission Square out of?
They're your current vendor, and today they come up and have committed to coming up 4 times a year for Madison. And they would continue to make that trip 4 times a year for participant meetings.
Anybody else have any questions they'd like to ask? I have some, but I'll Dan, or Commissioner Malone, go ahead.
Mission Square said they'll send someone up here 4 times a year? I thought it was 2 times a year.
Yes.
I could be wrong.
Okay. And Voya has a specific person just for government that they wouldn't send up?
Yes.
Did we ask Voya if they'd send them up?
Yes, so they would only be able to make it once a year. So we thought there was an advantage using an incumbent who's already coming up there twice a year.
It would not be the same person that you mentioned and does stuff for your law firm, that would be a different group within Voya.
Okay.
And did our consulting firm send out the invitations to bid, or were they posted?
Yes. Yes.
That's my question.
So I have a few questions. Commissioner, would you like to do any more?
No, that's it.
Commissioner Adams, do you have any? So I have a few questions. Your initial structure fee is 12,000 some dollars, is that accurate?
The first year.
RFP, I'm sorry.
Your first year of cost to your first year cost to the employees, 12,000 and change, is that accurate?
That was to do this project, sir.
To do this?
That was to do this project, was 12, yes.
And then the maintenance agreement for the employees is 25,000 moving forward?
It'd be an annualized fee of 25,000 to the committee to do quarterly monitoring selection on these funds moving forward. And if, as we entertain that, the 12,500 would be a part of the first year $25,000 cost, not to exceed $25,000.
So the first year is 25,000.
Every year would be 25,000, which would include this project at 12,500, plus prospective monitoring and selection of these funds under Public Act 314, which we would help the committee and work with the committee on a quarterly basis.
So do you have any financial interest in Mission Square?
None. We're completely independent. Just to give you a little background about NBC Investment Consulting, we have done this same project for the 5 largest cities in the state of Michigan. The city of Troy, Rochester Hills, Warren, Farmington Hills, and Southfield have all been down this same road, and we've been able to cut costs by combining vendors, reducing costs, and expanding the menu.
Okay, thank you. If the client or the employee chooses to stay where they are they able to do that?
The board would be making a decision to move all assets and remove all vendors in consolidation of one final vendor, whether that would be Mission Square as we recommended or Voya. So the answer would be no.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
The benefit of single source vendors is to reduce your cost in half and save money for the participants, and that's what the intention is of the project.
Commissioner Howard.
I would like to know what information was available to you in making your decision. Specifically, did you have access to fee schedules and advisory fees, whatever they may be in each of the 3 457s we now have?
Yes, we went through 90 days of discovery, which was very deep detail with all the vendors, with the majority of these assets being with Mission Square and Nationwide, and received enormous data to come up with the conclusion of the current cost at $179,000. We certainly did, and it takes us about 90 days to gather all the data and work with each vendor to get all the data correct.
Thank you.
I guess we reserve some time. And I'd like to hear if you're willing to.
Sure.
Dan?
Dan Emmendorfer.
Yes.
Very happy to come up and talk.
So
first of all, I'm an advisor. I'm with Secures America. I've been here. I'm a block away. And I'm here for the county. I'm here for all of you. I'm on your side, both as a fiduciary for the county itself and also for the employees. So I think this is wonderful. You set up a review board. I've been doing this for 35 years. I specifically have been doing right here in Marquette County, 457s for 30 years. So I have some experience here. And thank you, by the way, because you approved my plan. I originally started out with Nationwide, which is one of the providers here. And then I went with this other one when they laid me off. Right? And the county was kind enough to make it. So let's take a look at this. I applaud the work that the consultant has done and the staff and taken in. For the record, I have this email that somebody shared with me, but I never got an invitation to bid, or I don't know, or give input. I don't know why. But anyway, doesn't matter. The proposal here from Mark is to change what you have, okay? This plan costs you nothing, as Ann was saying correctly, that the employees put in, it's all voluntary, okay? So everybody gets to voluntarily put their money. When you have, right now, you have 3 providers. And with 3 providers, you have choice, right? So the proposal before you is to go down to 1. I get that. They say, well, maybe we can consolidate and get volume discounts for the county. Very viable option, right? Or thought. But what do you do for the employees? This is a benefit for the employees. That's what a 457 is, and we want to benefit, I'm sure you do, right? Benefit the employees. That's what the whole purpose is here. And my thought to you is, where on earth do you see that you already have 3 vendors? Everybody has a choice. They can come in and learn. Isn't that what we do? Do we, for example, this option would be to go down and consolidate, for more options on this plan. But would you cut somebody out? Would you say to somebody, geez, you're an employee of Marquette County. We have many restaurants in Marquette, but we want to go down to 1. You can only eat at 1 restaurant. Okay? And I've maintained to you that your fiduciary reduced this. And why would you do that? Where else in America do you see that we want to reduce competition? Doesn't competition usually bode well? Keeping competition keeps all those vendors honest, right? Helps you, hopefully, get a better outcome. And why can't an employee then go say, as they have for 30 years now, say, geez, I like that plan, and my job as an advisor, fiduciary, by the way, for both the county and the employee, people who work with me, is to say, here's the plan, here's the cost, here's what I offer. But they have a choice. If we go down to Mission Square and they don't like the service or the investments, they're stuck, right? Why would you do that to your employees right now? So why would you take away their choice? For some cost savings? I can get those. I can match these prices. I was never asked. Give me $14 million. That's what they're proposing here. Is that the balance in here? Is the balance 14 million, something like that, 14.6?
I don't have the numbers
Molly?
in front of me.
I don't have that too.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, that's on, well, I'm sorry, it's right here. So my proposal to you is one of 2 things. Questions is why are you taking away choice? The purpose of the review board is to make sure that the fees are reasonable, the services are reasonable. That's the whole purpose of this. We talk about this responsibility of fiduciary. I've been doing this 30 years, and I know one county. I don't know one county that's been sued over this. Maybe Mark does. But in 30 years. And, by the way, having an advisor on this plan right here further shelters you from the very objective you're trying to achieve. The biggest thing is to reduce your liability. Is that correct, Scott? Are you trying to reduce your liability? Make sure it's
Yeah,
controlled?
address the board.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Anyway, so my question is, why would you take that away? And this could be construed, by the way, as if you go down to 1, going from 3, you're taking choices. It's called implicit, sponsorship, implicit recommendation to one company, right? Isn't that a liability to you? Meaning you have 3, and you say, well, I'll take away the choice and reduce it down to 1, and then that's 1. That, to me, and working in this industry, when I read this, the fiduciary responsibilities, that opens you up to that aspect. That's what this decision would do. Do you want that? The idea, I thought, and the idea when I work with many counties, like the county Marquette, is to reduce that liability. I work at that every day myself, is try to also make sure your liabilities are reasonable if I can. by making sure I get good investments and, not exorbitant fees, and they're all customary and reasonable, and providing good service. So that's my plan is through Orion. So my question to you is, don't take away the choice. Why would you do that to employees? It doesn't cost you anything. They've done a good job on this board by outlining the costs. And I would like to propose to you that you either, one, keep it as is. I mean, I don't hear anybody complaining. I don't hear any staff members that have complained of any of the companies. So keep it as is, and we can let the employees, full disclosure, review each one, keep them with choice. So not accept the recommendation, keep it as is, and then I would like to also request that I get to come back and do a presentation, each one of you, to further talk about the second component that's missing in this information to all of you, is the cost for services. They talked about a rep coming up from Milwaukee. I'm right here a block away. People can see me year-round, every day. If the county would allow it, I can come here every day, right? And give them service. So number one, either not take the recommendation and let me come back, or table this tonight and let me come back and explain more of these costs to you. Because the service, there's advisory services that aren't explained in here that your clients, your employees would have to absorb also. That's not in this analysis that I can see. And I would like to do that. And by the way, by taking either one of those, that costs the county nothing, because what it can gain you information to make a more informed decision. The worst that's going to happen is after you get done with my presentation, you're going to be able to say, nope, we've confirmed what they said. We're going to go with their recommendation of this tonight, or no, this is, information we've taken all in and we don't want to change.
Okay, I appreciate your time.
By the way, if you do, I want one last thing.
I just had a question. You said you're taking away the employee's choice, but I think they can go anywhere they want to start a deferred compensation plan that has that. How many places?
Their current assets that they would have to move to Mission Square, but they could in the future work with whoever they want, yes.
Thanks for clarifying that point.
Just not through payroll deduction,
I
yeah.
mean, if they want to start a deferred comp plan with Orion, they could go to you, so they still have a choice.
I didn't know that, so that's true.
No, I'm not following that.
A new one. I mean, they won't
An individual one.
transfer hours, but they can start a new deal.
I think what they're trying to convey is, Commissioner, early on there was some misinformation. Am I accurate in correcting this, Ann? So, the county will be obligated to move the funds, and if the employee chooses to create a new plan, then they would be eligible to create a new plan wherever they so choose.
With future
but not
contributions.
with the funds that are being moved. So, in a way, they do not have a choice, but they could create a new plan with a new separate account, separate, yes.
They can't do it deferred.
But not deferred from the county.
Not through payroll, not through payroll.
payroll.
Yes, but they could do something outside of.
Excuse me, payroll.
I guess my focus is on the individual still have a choice. They don't have to keep their plan. And they don't have to retain their plan with Marquette County. They can leave it where it is until they get to the point of retiring, right?
No, they can't.
Draw on it.
Let's make sure we understand the question.
And then they should start a second one, a new one, not using any money that they put in the county ones someplace.
They can't leave it where it is.
No, they would have their dollars, if the board goes with the recommendation, and let's say I'm with Mr. Emmendorfer, my funds are through Orion, and the board goes with the recommendation, the current funds in the Orion, as it is, goes to the Mission Square. The other point would be then, if I said, well, geez, I'd still like to work with Mr. Emmendorfer, I could continue to work with him independent of the county stuff, but it would be, I would have to then do direct pays and work through that with my taxes, and it would be not be payroll.
Sorry, that was a little
That's-
confusing, so you stated.
It's also maybe worth noting that retired employees, and if you look at the numbers, we have a lot of retirees, right, who have assets in these plans, they can do whatever they want, right? So once you're retired, you can invest those funds, roll them over with whatever advisor you choose. But our active employees would be forced to put their existing assets at Mission Square.
Okay, and then the other question I had, that involves due diligence. On the memo, I'm seeing is due diligence, by the county to give the best available options to the employees. Mr. Ellenberger indicated he thought it was to reduce liability. Is it one? Is it both? Is it either?
Do you want to answer that, or you want me to try?
You want to go, and that's part of the whole package.
I think, and Wendy and I were chatting before the meeting, really it's our legal and fiduciary obligation to make sure that our employees have the best possible plan offered to them. And what is best possible? It's the lowest fees and the best fund offerings. Our consultant that we've hired is that expertise to monitor that and make sure that we're offering that best plan to our employees.
If I can add to that, it's more of a rate of return. One of the biggest challenges, as you pointed out, is, individually, I'm not qualified to look at these three plans and say, this one's gonna give me the best bang for my buck. I'm just gonna go with this one because obviously it's okay because it's offered by my employer. And so what the consultant does is go in and look at these individual plans and determine which one has the best overall rate of return for our employees so that they are getting the best bang for their buck. It's not about having a bunch of different options, it's about really what is the best option for our employees to invest their funds. And if they want to invest with a private advisor separately with a Roth IRA or, a traditional IRA, they can, or other assets. But for purposes of the 457 plan, for which the county has fiduciary obligations, we're going to make sure that they're getting the best option, the best returns.
Any further questions from the board?
I'm very confused now. Could the expertise also state what he wants to say to you?
Yes, we can go back to him. I just want to know if there's any further discussion. Be brief, please.
Okay, thank you. So, first of all, 457s have some benefits, Karen, so people may want to do them, that's why they do them. There's special benefit for the county to address your issue and question that people could come to me. But it is good because 457 has some benefit to them in that if they withdraw the money before 59 and a half, they leave the county, they have to separate. But if they withdraw the money, there's no 10% penalty and they can have access to the money. That's important, especially for people who retire in their 50s. No other plan has that. Number one. So that's why they want to do it. Number two, to the point of fees, I tell you, I've been doing this so long, I have spreadsheets coming out my ears. I've done this. Fees may have an impact. There's no doubt about it. Nobody. And when I first started in this business, fees were up at my list for being competitive. But I already have all these investments in here. But what makes the biggest outcome is the advice. And I submit to you, I bought material and I want all of you to read it. If you take my proposal to let me come back and do a presentation, and please, I beg you, you'll learn something. I'm not here for my health, I'm here for you and your employees. Because what I see is the reason people don't, and this is why I have a study in here I want to give to each of you, if that's okay, can I leave with you? Okay, I'll leave these with you. But by a behavioral finance guy, a doctor, and he cites both Vanguard and Morningstar and QAnon, all three reputable companies that did their studies that says most people who don't work with an advisor reduce their rate of return by 1.5% to 3% per year over their working career. Now, so fees are one component, but that is another component that we're missing here. And I'm a licensed advisor, and when you talk about advisors, I don't know if Mark has the answer, but are those advisors coming up and giving advice? Or do they come up? There's two types of service reps that I've seen in this industry. Some companies send them up, and they'll say, hey, Dan, here's your account. Here's what it's doing. We have these investments. You want growth funds? You want growth and income? Here they are. And when I say, well, geez, what should I be doing? They're gonna go, sorry, I can't help you there. That's where I gotta stop. Where I can say, here's a game plan. Here's what you can do. These are my recommendations, just like the consultant, Mr. Well, Mark, I guess, has done for you. And I can, and I also do, I've shared this with the staff, by the way. This is analysis I do. It's called benchmarking. I use this. I sent it out on my own plan on Orion through here at the county. And it's an independent company that I use, and I run the numbers, and I say, out of similar plans around the country, how do we compare? And it shows that we're at the low end of cost for the services and investment we provide. So there's two components to this. One is the investment component, two is the services. And most of your employees, if you ask them, I think they would go with Orion.
Yeah, I'd like to cut you off there.
Right, thank you, I'm sorry.
I'd like to thank you for your time and your passion and question and answer board as well. The only thing I have to add is my biggest concern is, I think Commissioner Elholm addressed the choice, that the employees have a choice. So it's not going to be direct through payroll deduction if they choose to go outside of the scope of that. But I'm more troubled with the cost to the employees as the whole thing of this. So having said that, we've had a lengthy discussion. Is there anything MBC consultants would like to add to the board?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I would like to add something as well. I know Mark has something to say, but one of the jobs for our team is to also make sure we're holding your vendors accountable, and whether it's Mission Square or nationwide, that they are doing their employee education. And if something is not going right with that, NBC, me at the league as a certified financial planner am available to your employees to make sure they have advice. So I agree with what Dan said about making sure your employees have advice, and we're going to make sure ongoing as part of our monitoring that your employees are getting the advice that they need. And I will be there with other people on our team, but with me at the league to make sure that that's happening, and have an independent third party to have them be able to talk to.
Okay, thank you for your remarks. One question left for.
I just have one. I'm the lead consultant, Mr. Chair. Just one last paragraph. This is not a personal project, and Dan's made some good points today. I want to let you know why most municipalities and governments are going to a single source provider to derive cost reduction. And the cost reduction by consolidating to one vendor tonight is almost $75,000 per year to your participants. That's a dramatic amount of cost savings that's going to be derived from going to one vendor, Mission Square. That is a $750,000 cost savings over a 10-year period. And that is a major driver from a fiduciary standpoint under Public Act 314 to derive this cost savings and benefit to your participants. Look at this plan as an employee benefit sponsored by the county. And that's why we were hired to do this. And I think that's a huge benefit and cost savings, along with a better selection of funds that would be offered in the future. Thanks for your time.
I appreciate your comments. So one question I have for staff, did we meet with union reps and have made them fully aware of the process here? And have we done our due diligence here?
Yeah, so we invited the union leadership to meet with us a couple of weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago.
Non-reps as well.
And non-rep employees, elected officials. Some came, maybe half were represented there of the groups. And then Scott also sent an email out to all employees about a week ago, letting them know that the board would be considering
One
this.
earlier this year as well, that we were looking at this and potentially could go to one. Plus, I sent them your memo that you have today.
Okay, so we've contacted, we have 8 unions we have under our scope of work authority, and then the non-reps, and they've been all, did we have any negative blowback about the direction on this?
No, I have not.
No, had a few questions about it, the process, more from, I had it from one direct call from an Orion client, and I had a question from one of the union leadership, and had a chat with them, so.
Again, I'm a little troubled by the cost, but having said that, it's time to move forward, and I guess if the board would like to make a motion, what do we look for?
I'll move to follow staff's recommendation, to go with Mission Square for all participants.
Motion made by Commissioner Alholm. Do we have any support? Do we have any support for Commissioner Alholm's motion? Hearing no support.
I do have a comment, though, if we're done with, if that dies for lack of support, I do have a comment.
Okay, hearing no further support.
So here's the way I balance this, is that, first of all, the whole thought that it doesn't cost us anything, I don't like that. So that kind of grinds me the wrong way, because our employees are part of us, and it costs the employees something. So that weighs over here. But, you know, we were talking about somebody coming up twice a year, Voya once a year, and this other group twice a year. And yeah, it's a lot better to have somebody right on across the street, you know, it really is. So, and you know how I feel about supporting local businesses. I've said this many times, although it tended to be a 2% thing, and this is more than a 2% thing. So that's what I'm struggling with right now. I'm struggling with services and what's better, and money, even though it's not our money, but it's certainly our employees' money. I'm struggling with those two things, and maybe everybody is. Maybe that's why there was no support just now. But I mean, that's what I'm struggling with. And I'm not, I realize that they did analysis, and this one group, Mission Point or Mission Square, had the best return, but you know, that changes over time too. I see different groups do better. One year it's one group, one year it's another group, that they kind of do different things. And so I'm not sure. There you go.
So we have a motion on the floor with no support. Any further discussion on that?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
one of the things, I'm not a lawyer, but everything that Commissioner Nordine said, Vice Chairman Nordine, was exactly what he was saying. He was reading my mind, because I felt the same way, but I couldn't have worded it as good as he did. So that's why I'm sitting here not knowing. I thought I was confused earlier, but I'm more confused now.
I feel the same way.
You know, so you have the chair, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So, hearing no further remarks, motion fails. I guess the board can look at potential scheduling and get some new information, maybe, as we move forward, Scott, and allow Mr. Make some level of presentation, and we can rehash this at a later date, and maybe schedule an informational meeting to look at this in the future.
Well, man.
Sure.
So I don't think it's a debt issue. I think that I feel like Commissioner DePietro said, I'm just a little bit confused about it. I'm uncertain about it. I'm also not sure that we shouldn't be doing it. So, I mean, I think that it needs some more information. I wanted some time to think about it. Maybe solicit some information or something more from our employees to see what they think. I mean, I realize you did it in a broad sense, but maybe they need to understand more that, hey, you're not gonna have three choices, you're gonna have one choice. Does it matter to you? You know, and I'd like to know how they feel, and maybe I'll do that myself to some employees. Yeah.
We can reach out.
I'm trying to say, I don't think it's a dead issue. I think it's not resolved tonight.
Maybe need some further discussion.
Whatever you guys need from us, we're happy to,
Moving on. Thank you. Third quarter budget amendments. Ann, back in your line.
Yes, so you have 10 budget amendments for your consideration. Many of them are small, what I would consider to be minor increases. The majority of them are to adjust the budget based on projects that you have approved since we last did budget amendments. Things like the port technology project, some projects in the rescue, safety, and aging services, an airport fund. And then the only other two that I would say maybe aren't minor, don't fall into the minor category that I draw your attention to is the increase to legal expenses related to the ongoing Cliffs litigation, and then also increases to legal fees and transcript fees in both circuit and probate court. And I did put an explanation in the memo as to why we're still experiencing some increased fees there.
Looking for a motion to approve the third quarter budget amendments, please.
I'll make a motion on that.
Motion by Commissioner DePietro, support.
I'll support, and I have a comment.
Support, Commissioner, or Vice Chair Nordine. Comments?
So my question, Ann, is, or whoever,
Commissioner?
The drain commissioner, so we have $11,800 for repairs made on Warner Street. What are related to flooding? Why are we paying for that? Why do we pay for that?
that's a longer story, and then there's probably more detail to that. That part of the Warner Creek issue that happened for the longest time, used to be covered through the road commission, and at some point it got pulled out of the road commission's hands, and that's why now there's a fee coming our way, and we'd like to try to get that back into the road commission's hands.
Well, that's what when I looked at that, I thought, why is Marquette County paying to do a drain repair or a street repair or it's really flooding and drainage, which is usually the road commission or the local municipality, but it's usually not Marquette County. So if we start getting into that, I know a whole bunch of them that need to be done. So I don't know if we want to spend money down in other places.
So, Commissioner, I'm familiar with this specific issue. We have a drainage area in Marquette Township.
I know what this is.
Yeah, okay, and historically, the road commission has gone and dug this out over annually. For some reason now, there appears to be a change, and it's gone out to the private sector. And that is at the discretion of Mr. Farrell. So we need to find out why that change was made, but the work has been done and the bill has been submitted.
Yeah, who contracted with a third party to, you're cleaning out the drains, right?
The drain commissioner.
This is sand and sediment that's coming into a drain, right? And they're going on cleaning it up periodically. And it was the road commission doing it.
The drain commissioner did that, yes.
So, but the drain commissioner contracted with a third party to get to clean out
It's my understanding.
Again, I say there's lots of Marquette County could be done. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to go down that road. I mean, that's a terrible.
No, we want to try to.
Yeah, no, we certainly don't, but the work has been completed.
Okay.
The bill has been submitted. So that's part of the CFO's amendment and over budget, and I believe we'll have to take up the budgetary item with the drain commissioner. So.
Okay.
Motion on the floor and support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. MCHD digital filing recommendation. Do we have, no one's here, Patrick's not here. I can touch base on this. Earlier today, was fully updated on what they're attempting to do here is digitize all of the county records. The quote, I believe, is
26,000.
yes, and it's based on a company that'll actually come and box them up, provide full access to them during and prior to being copied and digitized, and then re-enter the digitized file on the county software. So they're quite extensive of what they're going to do. And Scott, would you like to add anything to that?
I would, and there were other proposals with that, and none of those companies and why they're recommending, because there's one company that's much more expensive and one that's slightly below, and they're choosing this one because of those additional services in which they provide for the health department to mix it all that, and they have done this with other agencies with the same.
Yeah, they've got a good track record with many other counties, and some of the other bids were, again, a little bit lower, but they weren't boxing the documents and coming and get them. There was going to be separate charges for all of the work that was going to be done, so.
I'd make a motion to follow the recommendation of Patrick Jacuzo from the Health Department.
Motion on the floor by the Vice Chair.
Support that motion.
Support by Commissioner Lalonde.
So I have a comment.
Further discussion and comments?
So I think 26,500 is pretty cheap to take all those records and digitize them. I think that's pretty cheap to do.
Yeah.
And I understand from the memo that citizens now are going to be able to log on and see this information. That's a tremendous thing for citizens. If they want to go log on and see if there's a permit out there or the status of the permit or whatever, I think it's a wonderful thing.
Any further comment?
Well, I just want to make sure I understand that this is specifically the Environmental Health Division of the Health Department?
Secretary Fields, Wells, permits.
Any further comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Grant application authorizing resolution. We had a public hearing earlier. Little bit of discussion about the dates on that, and we'll get response back from Civil Council later on that. Corey Beck, I've looked to you we're going to vote on the grant application and authorizing resolution.
Does we need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to follow staff's recommendation and enter into this resolution.
And we need support. Support by Commissioner Malone. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Nordine?
Yes.
Commissioner DePietro?
Yes.
Commissioner Adamini?
Yes.
Commissioner Malone? Yes. Commissioner Almo?
Yes.
Chairperson DeRosa?
Yes. Thank you. Collective bargaining agreement 11E. So I'll read in resolution adopting collective bargaining agreement between Marquette County and Marquette County Sheriff's Office and Marquette County Correctional Deputies, Sheriff Union, Police Officers of Michigan Home. Whereas Marquette County Correctional Deputies Union Home is recognized by the Employment Relations Commission of Marquette County as the exclusive representative serving employees of Marquette County. And whereas the parties have collectively bargained mutually acceptable terms and conditions. Now let it be resolved pursuant to the recommendation made by the Board of Commissioners, the county resolves that the tentative agreement amending the collective bargaining agreement for the period of January 1, 2024 through December 31st, 2024 is hereby approved with further resolve the board chairperson authorized to take necessary administrative action to implement this resolution. Dated November 7th, today's date. And motion to
I'll move that.
support, but motion by Commissioner Adamini. Support of this resolution.
Support.
Support by Commissioner DePietro. Query, Beth?
Commissioner Edamini?
Yes.
Commissioner LeBone?
Yes.
Commissioner Nordine?
Yes.
Commissioner Almo?
Yes.
Commissioner DePietro?
Yes.
Chairman DeRosa?
Yes. Thank you. There's no late additions? Oh, we're gonna have to get so late addition on Powell Townships. But I guess we're gonna have to, do we have that document? Can we get that for our next meeting?
We'll make sure we get it. for
Yes.
next meeting.
Is there a time thing going on there?
No, since Darlene is out of office, I think they'll postpone making the decision anyway, so I can, the treasurer had sent it and then had talked to, I think, Commissioner DePietro on the phone and told me to come, so.
We're glad you're here.
We can
But-
come, I
Yes,
can
thank you. We'll
probably
get
come
it,
next.
we'll get it resolved for the township.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do you know what it is, Bo, Scott?
Public
She explained about a name change on a lake.
renaming a lake.
Yeah,
Renaming a lake, and we'll come up, we'll find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't, well, because the federal
It's the-
government renamed
it's
it
the
this big
beach
long
on-
Indian name, which is really hard for people to deal with on a
I
practical
can
basis.
explain it quick
They
if
want to
you
make it the
want.
Burns Landing.
They need a letter, you need a letter,
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, she can educate us.
If you'd like to come up under public comment, sure, absolutely. Come on up.
Sorry, is that now?
We don't need the letter, I mean, we could actually support their, support their action.
Come on up.
And then we
Um,
can follow up in writing.
So the township, through Darlene, the supervisor, has applied, or sent an application to the Board of Geographic Names, which is through the federal government, to change the name of what is currently called Minokweh-Jigibik in Powell Township, which is more commonly known as Burns Landing Beach, and then the entire other shore of Big Bay, which is mostly private property. And we're asking to the Board of Geographic Names to basically change the portion that is west of the harbor in Powell Township, which is currently the Burns Landing Beach. It's like a park area there. We're asking them to change the land feature name to Burns Landing Beach instead of that Anishinaabe name, because it is more in line with how people are referring to it now. It has been, it's, that's the park there, so that name has been in common use for over 40 years and has historical meaning. It's all in this letter, but the person from the BGN had reached back out to us regarding our application and had asked for us to give a letter of support from the county. So that's why we're asking you guys for support on that.
So I would move that we support Powell Township's request to change the referenced area to Burns Landing and authorize the chairperson to sign a letter of support in that regard.
I'd support that.
Motion on the floor and support. Discussion?
So, yeah, so they started off with Squaw Beach, right? So it was Squaw Beach and the federal government didn't like the name Squaw.
I was just gonna go there.
I know, say what it
Yeah,
is, say what it is. And so
I
they gave it the
preferred
big
not
long
to use
Indian
that.
name, which I'm good with it being named, except that is not practical. It is very difficult.
Right. The thing is that no one in the township is going to be able to pronounce that word. I only know how to pronounce it because the
I couldn't
BGN guy
pronounce
told
it.
me
I
how.
read it, and I'm like, I couldn't understand what it was saying, so.
Not that I wanna ask a question, to put you on the spot, but have we communicated with, the KBIC, because that's their ceded territory, are they okay with these names?
So KBIC, I do not believe has not been in contact, I believe. I think it's the Sault Ste. Marie tribe, and I believe they were not in favor of the name change. They liked the Anishinaabe name. But just to clarify, so the current Minokweh-Jigibik is for that entire shore, and what I believe the township is wanting to do is just to rename that small section. So I think that, but the application was originally submitted for that entire southern shore, not knowing that they thought that they only renamed that part. So, yeah,
I think
that's,
we're,
I'm happy to come back at a later date, if you guys want to talk more about it.
I,
I think we gotta support Powell Township, that's what I think.
there's a motion on the floor and support. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Send them a letter, please, Mr. Irvish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you know.
Okay. Public comment. Public comment. Any further public comment? Mr. Willie?
Give a quick update, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
For October, Dan Willie from the Marquette County Sheriff's Office. Calls for service, we had 355, 22 arrests, police 34 accidents, wrote 109 citations, received 176 civil papers and served 149 of them. Special operations 131 search and rescue, we helped with searching for 2 lost people in Marquette Township, helped look for a missing male in Republic. We did a K-9 assist for a suicidal person in Marquette Township. They helped with the Lake Superior Performance Rally, medical and traffic. We held a hunter safety class at Nagani High School. Special Ops did 50 hours of ORV patrol. 131 went out to 2 PIA, 2 personal injury accidents, 1 in Scandia, 1 in Ishpeming City. Had assisted a structure fire in Tilden Township. We had rapid rescue intervention training, and then they participated in a rescue task force training in Escanaba. The jail average day population was 74. We lodged 90 males, 32 females. Released 92 males, 31 females, and averaged 4 feds per day. That's for October.
Thank you. Public comment.
So I want to thank the board and staff for allowing me to comment tonight and present, and I look forward to more dialogue on this topic. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
Public comment. Any further public comment? I see 2 gentlemen in the front here that I thought might want to come up and have a public comment. They're Northern Michigan students.
Should I, or?
And sure, absolutely.
Tell us why you're here.
Oh.
They are party
You gotta say your name.
political members, and they came here today to see what goes on at the county board.
Yeah, well, you
Introduce
basically
yourself.
explained it. I'm Malik LaPlante, and I'm from Nagani Township, and I just happen to go to Northern Michigan University, so I'm just checking out things around here, because, like, I don't really get into this stuff much, but it interests me after today, so, and I'm sure it's very interesting. It's much better than national politics, I found. You know, like, there's a lot more that goes on here, so just to check it out, and I appreciate, you know, you guys doing all your things that you do, so thank you. All right.
Absolutely.
My name is Gabriel Ahrens. I'm a freshman at Northern Michigan University this year. I'm originally from Osseo, Minnesota, which is about 20 minutes from downtown Minneapolis. So I've been to Michigan like once before I moved here, so I'm just trying to like understand what everything's about up here because it's a little different than Minneapolis. But yeah, Alec kind of invited me here, didn't tell me much, but it was a fun experience.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
You're not gonna pick on the 3 in the back either?
Any further public comment? I see some smiles. Any further public comment? Here, any electronic, of course. Commissioners' comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Mr. Pico, go
Commissioner
ahead.
comment. I would like at this time to thank all our military servicemen and women for their service to serve and protect our greatest country in the world. This includes all our present, future, and past military veterans, and to remember the women and men that gave their lives while serving our country. If you see a veteran in uniform, please thank them for their service. On Saturday, November 11th, 2023 is Remembrance Day for all past, present, and future military service members. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Hard to follow that, Jeff. Thank you. Any further comments? Any commissioners' comments? I'll have one to add to the northern students. So when I first started in politics 20 years ago, I had a wise old individual from up in Michigan who shared with me about running a board meeting, and he said, remember one thing, Joe DeRocha, the mind can only absorb what the backside can endure. So if the meeting runs too long,
Gotta quit meetings.
okay, moving right along. Closed session.
Real closed session.
I need a motion to go into closed session in regards to strategic negotiation and bargaining.
I move we go into closed session pursuant to MCL 15.268C.
And support, Vice Chair Nordine made a motion, support by Commissioner Lalonde. All in favor to go in closed session?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Closed session. Thank you. Appreciate all of the remarks, and thank you for your time.
Thanks for wrecking the ball.
Take it.
Tomorrow? Come on.
Brief moment, Corey Beth.
I'll be there for you.
Or Karen, you want to make a motion first? No? I guess not.
I mean, we don't
Then you need
need
a
a motion to
motion.
direct staff to leave the.
No.
Okay.
Any further guidance, thank you.
We're back on?
Yep.
Motion to adjourn? Yeah.
All right. Wonderful meeting.
So Dana, do you feel comfortable talking about the CGBUD grant with the media, please? Would you like to do that?